This is a part of a larger plan for Malaysia to penetrate into the Chinese market because the Chinese consumer spending power is definitely increasing. So it's very good that China is willing to open up its market, and we are more than willing to be part and parcel of this strategy.
But as China opens up further, there will also be more foreign competition. How does Malaysia plan to stand out in this regard?
I think we have a couple of interesting products and services that we can bring into China. Especially in the electrical and electronic sector, where we already have a lot of presence in a place like Penang, whereby we want to attract more Chinese investors to come to Malaysia and then also be able to export back to China. And then also in other areas, services for example, where we want to try to continue to attract Chinese students to come to Malaysia to study.
Because culturally, Malaysia and China have a lot of similarities, right?
That's one, yeah, but also because, for example, in the area of services and education, for example, I think many Chinese still don't know that Malaysia has more than 60 private universities, including Xiamen Daxue, which is the first overseas branch campus of a Chinese university, as well as other international universities as well that have set up in Malaysia.
So now China, its value chain game is changing.
Yes.
It said over and over again that it plans to actually import more high quality products and services. For Malaysian businesses, how are they planning to really position themselves to capitalize on this?
Actually, a lot of people don't know. Malaysia's main exports to China is not durians or not bird's nest, but rather electrical and electronic products. So it takes up about 40% of our total exports, and it is our largest import from China as well. So we're very much part of the E&E supply chain together with China, and we look forward to more technologies being developed here in China as well as in Malaysia to be able to grow the larger E&E market.
So even within the traditional E&E sector, you feel that the potential is still untapped, even though traditionally you already have that relationship?
The room to grow, I think, is immense because China is developing a lot of products in areas of artificial intelligence, big data analytics, Industry 4.0 type activities, and Malaysia definitely would want to take advantage of these kinds of developments.
Malaysia is China's largest trading partner that's within Southeast Asia, and it has been for a decade right now. As China seeks to open up further, do you think it's on the right track? What more needs to be done?
I think China is on the right track in terms of setting the tone for the larger international market to know that China is open for business. I think one of the challenges which China faces is as many of their businesses go overseas, including Southeast Asia, to invest, they would also face learning curve issues because many of them are going abroad in a place like Southeast Asia for the first time. So it's also contingent upon countries like Malaysia to be able to provide a very good investing environment, and I think we have some advantages that other countries in Southeast Asia don't have, primarily our location as well as language.
Of all the opening up measures announced by Chinese President Xi Jinping, the reduction of institutional costs, tariffs, and business environment, IP protection, which one matters most to Malaysia and why?
I think what really captured me yesterday during our presidency speech was opening up together with innovation. I think this is one area where we really look to China to lead in many areas of artificial intelligence and Industry 4.0. And because of this leadership, we would be able to benefit in Malaysia from a technology investment standpoint. And this is the kind of areas of cooperation that we want to enhance even further.
As China pushes to buy more goods from the rest of the world, how will this transform global trade and perhaps even the global economy?
I think this is a strong signal that China does not want to go down the protectionist track. And for open trading countries such as Malaysia and other countries in Southeast Asia, including Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, we want to be able to partner with China. And I'm very glad that we have substantive conclusion to the RCEP agreement. And this is a very important step for ASEAN, for China, for the other countries involved in RCEP to send the signal to the global community that we still want a strong multilateral trading system.
Because Malaysia is a trading nation, right?
Yes.
So in terms of the impact from the China-US trade talks, trade disputes, how is Malaysia positioning itself amid all this?
Trade war is not good for open trading countries like Malaysia because it decreases overall aggregate demand. So even though if, let's say, we may benefit in the short term from production diversion, long term it suppresses global trade. So we don't want that to happen. But at the same time, we know that some of these things are beyond the control of small countries like Malaysia. So what we can do is to try to take advantage of the situation to increase investments coming into Malaysia, coming into Southeast Asia as a result of some of these trade tensions.